So good morning, everybody. I'm going to stay close to the podium because part of what we want to share with you today, and I'm speaking in plural because my colleague is here, she will be presenting later too, is part of the efforts that we as urban designers bring to work around water, how we can visualize an element that is not static, but that we continuously have to draw and had to represent to allow those static lines to be able to define specific regulations. So you will see how we have been trying to go around this specific issue in different ways. Okay, so I'm going to start with a quote to bring everybody more or less to the point where we would like to consider our work. Water is everywhere before it is somewhere. It is rain before it's in rivers. It soaks before it flows. It spreads before it gathers. It blurs before it clarifies. Water at these moments in the hydrological cycle is not easy to picture in maps or contain within lines. The fact is that at the time of this moment, maps are drawn, properties are demarcated, decisions are made, the past is described, and the future is considered. So what you have in here is one initial diagram in which we are tracking what is the movement, what is the change of water in Michigan Lake. And what you can see is that we are not dealing with a static graph at all. Even if the changes are not huge, they are remarkable for some of the properties that are close, really, really close to the water. And here we go. So just to make the point clearly, what our research is interested in is understanding that the Great Lakes region is a very rich freshwater territory characterized by diffuse urbanization and fragmented water governance. And our work in this situation is articulating how the visualization of diverse future scenarios can offer communities a more detailed understanding of the trade-offs between larger climate change impacts and uncertainties and localized community planning decisions. So what you see in here are different representations of how properties that are close to the lake are already not even projecting future conditions, but only bringing to the present condition past level lake waters. Some of these properties are going to be underwater, regardless of any change or any kind of acute precipitation that we haven't seen in the past. Only by repeating conditions that we already know, we see how properties are in a way challenging, are define what is dry ground. So the research, and you will see in the last page, includes a large number of collaborators, had a really rich set of data that has been collected by the Meadows, and you will see more specific references to them later. And it's really, really specific, letting us know how these dynamics are not only dealing with water changing the level, the land is also changing depending on this interaction with the water. So what we see is that it's relatively easy for property owners to forget about the variability of these cycles and go ahead and build their houses relatively close to the water, but forgetting that the water is yet not an static element. So once again, what you see here is specific information collected in one of these sites, and you see this interaction. And this red or red line that you see moving is highlighting what is defined as the ordinary high water mark, that as of now is a static measurement, is set at elevation 580.5. And what you're seeing here is that that line is not static. It's also changing if we measure in different moments what is that situation. And the last few slides are sharing with you the specifics of how not only we are using aerial images and ways of visualizing these sets of very, very specific data, but also working with communities, developing a series of maps that can help them understand what are some of these trade-offs when they are thinking on planning for the future. So this is part of an exercise in which we were setting up 3 different futures and then developing with them different opportunities for them to decide depending on which kind of management options, what are some of the properties that are going to be at risk, and how their master plans, maybe applying some specific best management practices, can in a way avoid constructing in unsafe ground. So this is the incredible group of collaborators that we had. And what you see here are two main grants that are leading the way. And very specifically, I want to point out to Leah. That's the organization in the ground working with communities and developing most of this resilience planning to help them move forward into the future. Thank you.
Thanks, Maria.